Hey, Hound Dogs, I'm David
I'm
Hankins,
Paul Hankins, Trevor Hankins.
I'm Julie Canon.
And I'm Rachel Wells.
and you're on the air with Power Squared. This is our
24th.
24th comic book club, and I chose It Rhymes with Lust.
Ooh,
Ooh, shit.
revisited.
Well, yeah. It's from 19. It was originally thought up in 1949 by two
hmm
writers, Arnold Drake and Leslie Waller.
Under the pseudonym Drake Waller.
Okay, thanks. I could have read that. But anyway, it's with the art was done by Matt Baker, and inker was Ray Osrin, I guess.
Osrin. Yeah.
Yeah, they had the idea in 1949 while they were in college in New York City, and they had the idea for a picture novel. And so this is really one of the first graphic novels. They're not the ones that came up with that name, but that's what this is. And I thought it'd be kind of fun for us to read something old and historic.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting experience.
How so?
Well, it's just, it really, someone who read quite a few graphic novels, it really reminds you a lot about what works in a graphic novel and what doesn't.
Okay.
You know? Well, first of all, this whole comic is in, there's no color, it's black and white. Um,
That's the film noir
which is, I
love.
know, it's true. Everything was black and white back in the day. But it's just unusual for, I feel like a lot of Western comics, like if if it's not in color, a publisher doesn't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. Even though in Japan, most comics are in black and white and they sell better than Western comics. So it's just refreshing to see a Western comic not having, not like having to rely on color. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Right.
Um,
I don't know if that was a decision that it cost a bunch to have somebody color it, so they didn't do it, or what.
oh, I'm sure. I'm sure it has something to do with like, I mean, I suppose a lot of the cheaper comics back in the day were black and white, and color was a little bit primitive compared to today. Definitely a lot more expensive to just make and print.
They were
But
pretty
there were
basic colors too. It was like yellow. They weren't shades and too much. I mean, some of the older comics I've seen are kind of
Right.
the color's the color. Go
it's
ahead.
true.
Sorry, I'm
It's
interrupting.
true. No, you're good. And there's a lot of things I see in this in the art and the lettering and such in this graphic novel that I specifically was taught not to do in in comic school. So it makes you think about like why we do that, we have those rules, or really they're more like guidelines, but it reminds you why you're taught to do that because you just see it in action in this very old story. For example, a big example I can think of is the lettering. Um, I don't have a specific like visual example I can show, but when I was learning lettering, they teach you to have like kind of make your whole text box bubble shaped. So like you have shorter lines up top, and then they get longer in the middle, and then they get shorter near the bottom. While in It Rhymes with Lust, they just kind of do whatever they want
Yeah.
with the lettering. It's a
Yeah.
little weird. It's not exactly, it doesn't make it illegible. It's not exactly a huge problem. It's just not as visually appealing, you know?
Yeah.
Well,
I think a good example of that one, like I'm just flipping through the pages again.
sure.
Like on page 12, when you see some of the words, like there's like the hyphen, like just like separating the words.
Yeah.
So you're just kind of like,
Page
with like
12.
the good example,
Yeah.
like sharp, cunning, I scrutinized, and I'm just like, it takes you 2 seconds to realize, oh, they're saying scrutinized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Another big thing in this story is it tells a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Hmm.
does.
And that's a big no-no in comics these days. You need to be showing. Like this is a visual medium. Like in a lot of parts in the story would be like the woman leered from across the room. It's like you can just show that. I could have seen that.
I think I did a little bit of research into this, and my understanding is that at the time, picture novels were kind of bridging between
Hmm.
novel and comic. So there's some novel tendencies in here.
Very good point.
Oh yeah, I don't mean to rat on this
No, it's
Yeah.
story
great.
too much. It's
Yeah.
just so, things that immediately stood out to me, and I do know like this was pretty novel, so to speak, back
Yeah.
then. A big like picture novel like this. So there really weren't any rules or guidelines to speak of. They were still trying to figure it out. Like, and I guess back in the day, this worked for them. People seemed to like it.
Yeah.
Any thoughts, Julia?
Uh, I think like just to like piggyback on what Rachel was saying, it's like another way to say what she was saying is like it rhymes with lust walked, so like the rest of the generation of like graphic novels and stuff could run.
Ooh,
Is
Oh
like
yeah,
I think that's like a
exactly.
good analogy.
okay.
Yeah, definitely.
It was kind of. I mean, if you want to take it as a film noir story, it's kind of all over the place. There is like too many characters in some ways. Uh, it has, I guess Rust is supposed to be the femme fatale in this. And you kind of wonder why the guy is always falls under her spell every time he sees her, kind of stuff. It's kind of
Oh my God, man.
yeah,
Like the story, I wasn't a big fan of the story, to
yeah.
be honest. And the first like what, 3 or 4 chapters, I was I was pretty bored to be honest. It doesn't help that there's a lot of type in this story, a lot of type.
You're actually reading it.
It's
Let's
a
put it that
lot
way.
it's a lot more difficult to read than the average comic in the year of our Lord, 2026. But when chapter 4 rolled around, or the chapter when our main character finally grows a spine and sticks up for the town.
Hmm.
I'm just like, yeah, yeah, you did it.
Yeah, I thought it was a
It takes some bearing a body, but we got him.
yeah. There's also he ends up with her daughter-in-law or her stepdaughter. And it's kind of like,
Oh
what
man,
is
I'm
that
that?
like,
was
That seems
that
like
that was bothering me for a while. I'm just like, okay, this is the 1940s. I'm not gonna question it too much because like things
but
are dated weirdly. However, sorry.
but in those kind of in those movies at that time and
Yeah.
still like television in the 60s and 70s, the guy
Mhm.
could be whatever age and the girl had to be young. He could be 70 and she
hmm
had to be 20. So I mean, that kind of age difference
hmm
is sort of, I think, very period. You know, that he could be whatever
To
age
be
and she.
honest, what doesn't bother me is him going between the mother and the daughter. What bothers me is that the daughter went back to him. Like, girl,
Oh, sorry.
have some respect for yourself. Like at first she falls in love with this guy, and then he catches him with her mom, her stepmom, and she's like, "I was wrong about you." And then later on, he, does the hero thing, and she was like, "I was wrong about being wrong about you." It's like, no, man,
Like 3 times.
you
I'm
really
like,
don't need him. I
Yeah.
promise.
just like going, God damn, like I said, like all of you are freaking idiots. Good lord, I know this is written in the 1940s, but good lord, I understand the whole thing of like the whole thing of heroism and just like the man getting the woman, but like, come on, man.
If you don't think someone's being an idiot, it's not really a good film noir. They always do something
That's
stupid in it.
true.
Like we were watching something, they go to the police, just go to the police. Why do nobody ever goes to the police? It's always they have. Well, they'll think I did it, so I can't do it. So I have to pretend to be this dead guy. That kind of stuff. It's just some of
Oh
the
god.
really bad ones are really bad, but.
Granted, if that stuff didn't happen in the story, there wouldn't be a story in the first place. But also, my common sense brain is also like, please, why?
Yeah, I didn't know if it was good or bad when I said, "Hey, let's read this." It was more because I'd heard about it, and I just thought we should explore something old, as opposed to we do a lot of mangas and that kind of stuff. So I thought this might be
Oh no, like it
interesting.
was like a breath of fresh air of like reading something outside of like I guess like our comfort zone per se.
Oh
Though I think
yeah, I
like
thought definitely
but so
worth
like it
reading.
wasn't yeah.
uh,
Like the point of also book club is also like venturing off into something we're
Yes,
not
yes.
really fully comfortable with, which is also good. So
yeah.
good choice all throughout, I'm gonna say.
Okay, well, I just
At least I wanted to mention one thing that I thought was at least kind of interesting, even if it was sort of called out, I guess. Reading this was kind of like reading a film noir, and
Yes.
there was one like camera shot that I thought was interesting on page 79 when the marquee,
Uh huh.
and then when you see it through the car window, it's highlights certain words, so it's
Yeah.
appropriate to the situation.
Yeah, it's sort of like if you see somebody have the word "kill" in neon letters outside their hotel room, kind of deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. But you can tell even, I mean, they teach us in comic school to think about, like, when you think about your comics, you should be watching, like, movies and television and other kinds of media to get a sense of, like, cinematography, like, what works when you're trying to show a scene. And you can tell they were definitely thinking about that back then as well.
Well, also this was sort of I guess, coming up on the end of the big era of, I guess, into the 50s, where still film noirs and that was still going on, but they had probably seen a lot of film noirs. We're just trying to recreate some of that
Yeah.
on screen.
And I'll second that the back and forth got tiring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a perfect work,
Yeah.
but it's...
It was interesting to read anyway,
Yeah,
for
it
the
was.
historical value.
Right.
You know what? Something interesting about this story was all of the idioms that I've never heard before, like the 50s idioms.
Yeah.
They're
I'm
probably
sure y'all read some of them
40s.
and you're like, what? 40s, 50s, yeah.
Oh, late 40s.
For example, I wrote some down that I really liked. Hen fruit, which refers to an egg. It's like, you know what? I'll eat an egg, but a hen fruit? I don't know about that.
I never heard of that until...
Wild oats, which are offenses and indiscretions ascribed to youthful exuberance.
You've never heard that expression before? He was sowing his
No, I've
wild
never heard
oats?
that.
I heard it once, like a few years ago, but I just kind of like,
Never heard that in my life.
Well, I guess I've heard it. But if somebody who's sowing their wild oats, is you're doing things in your youth that you will later regret, maybe. But yeah. Go ahead.
Another one is to have a yellow streak down one's back, which is to be cowardly.
Yes.
And I guess like yellow is generally a color associated with cowardice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yellow belly.
Yellow,
What are you, yellow?
yellow streak down their back. Yeah, I've heard that. What else?
Another one is fix one's wagon, which is to plot against someone or get revenge.
I'm gonna fix your wagon.
I'm just imagining like a pioneer on the Western Front, like just parking their wagon somewhere in order to, like, I don't know, running with their shotgun over to the other wagon, being like, "I'm gonna get you."
Well, mostly it would probably
know.
be to like undo the wheel on their wagon or something like that. I'm gonna.
That's yeah.
But
That's probably the more rational explanation for that one.
I've heard the expression, "I'm gonna fix your wagon." Have you guys heard that before?
I
I've
don't
never heard
remember.
that.
Wow.
Maybe,
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe.
Well, I guess. Of course, I was born in the '50s, so that was,
Excuse me.
that was a big deal. Okay, what else?
Another one is Jasper, which is a stranger or out of towner or oddball.
Never heard that.
Me either.
A lot of interesting turns of phrase. So maybe we should bring them back.
Well, it's like if you watch some old like gangster films, hey, screw, which means leave, like what? That kind of stuff. You kind of get, yeah.
I don't watch a lot of old movies, like pre-60s.
Well,
I should.
You should, because there are a lot of great stories told in films that are before your time. So yeah, we watch silent films and
Yeah.
30s and 40s and all that. So yeah, it's you'll find there's a lot of great stories told, and you can steal from them because they're so old nobody remembers them, right? So if you're told,
Yeah.
It's true. It's true.
and they're written in Hollywood wrote them in basically Hollywood. The idea was they were sort of a dream, and you were sort of in it. And they all kind of had to work out. Because there was a studio system, they were cranking them out. They're all pretty standard to a certain degree. They always seem to work pretty well. I had a friend that said, a really good movie, how it falls apart at the end. I go, well, then it's not a really good movie if it falls apart at the end. And there's some that are kind of.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
There are some that are unfathomable in their own way. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. It's a Bogart film that really makes no sense.
Big Sleep.
Big Sleep. Even the writer who wrote the book doesn't know what happened in it, kind of a deal.
Oh no.
Yeah, and so it's if you watch it, it's like, okay, there's something missing or something. It just doesn't really add up. But that's the talk about films. But early films are usually pretty good as far as they were trying to tell a story in a certain way and a certain time length, and they kind of sometimes they can tell a pretty interesting story in 60 minutes, and sometimes you're like, wow, it's only been 60 minutes. Wow, things have gone forever. We've had that experience.
Yeah. Yes.
So, but anyway, you should watch
I
older
think the oldest
movies.
movie I've watched is Citizen Kane. I watched it for school, and I didn't get it, but I was a teenager, so I think I have to rewatch it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you probably should. Yeah, we're actually gonna go there. Fathom Events is having a 80th anniversary showing screenings of it, so we're gonna go see that in July.
Ah, fun.
Yeah, it's some of it is you just have to understand that he changed a lot of things about filming when he made that. And it's interesting, he was actually going after a real life person, and I mean, it was kind of unfair to Marion Davies, but otherwise, it's a lot of it is the techniques that he was using because he didn't know better. He was like 20-something years old. He got free reign on a movie, and so he sort of did whatever he kind of wanted to do. But you'll as an example, you'll see the ceiling in a room. You didn't really see that very much in films until then, because that's where the lights are and stuff. He would
That's
shoot
true.
up. So it's it's sort of a more of a what came after it, and Orson Welles couldn't live up to that either because he really didn't really make too much good stuff after that. But he made movies, but they're not for the most part kind of weren't finished, or he had a lot of ideas he wanted to do that he never did. He was kind of as they say, a boy wonder, but you watch it for as much for the story as for the techniques that he was using.
Whenever I think of Orson Welles, I mean, he was pretty good in Citizen Kane. I remember that as much, but
Yeah.
all I can think of his is have you ever seen that behind the scenes clip of him doing a wine commercial and he's drunk off his ass?
Well, I've also heard that he was could be kind of a jerk to work with as far as doing voiceovers and
no.
stuff. Well, hey, I'm
But like
Orson.
out of context, he's just like the French.
Well, he did Paul Masson wines or something like that towards the end of his life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look it up when you have the time. Oh my god, it's so good.
But he's that was kind of like, wow, he really came down a long way from boy wonder to selling wines. But that's not anything to do with this book. So Trevor, what did you think?
I was going to say, on the subject of the book itself, I noticed something I noticed at the lettering is that sometimes there are like one or two times where the spelling of something was less consistent.
Okay.
But one thing I noticed was sometimes it's like there should be a period there, but it's like not there.
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
I noticed that too.
I think I heard apparently that's why it's because of that at one point comic books when they ended with a period and just ends with a period, they ended with an exclamation point, even if they're not supposed to actually be shouting, just so that people could actually see the period.
Okay. That's a good point.
Interesting. I guess it can be hard to make that little dot stand out sometimes.
They forgot
Huh.
it. You never know.
I also thought there was a couple interesting points of like symbolism.
Okay.
Like there's one in the story that's explicitly like spelled out. It's like I'm forgetting names right now, but the main character, he's like having to make
Weber.
Hal Weber.
yeah, Hal is like trying to make this big choice, and there's two items that represent that choice.
Okay.
And then probably should I try to remain spoiler free?
Oh, I think something that is 76 years old, you could probably spoil it.
Y'all had 70 years to read
Someone
this.
they got spoiled. I'm sorry. It's a you problem. Trevor, carry on.
Anyway, what happened to Rust? Sorry, Rust at the end.
Yeah.
It's like when she's in that she's at the
At
mine.
the mine in the cart, or whatever.
Yeah, it's like she's in the cart. She's like rising,
Mm-hmm.
and then when the evil is defeated, she's falling.
Pretty good. I did not pick up on that.
Yeah, you made me remember specifically there was this part where Hal was struggling with something, and there was a text box that said the Dark Knight represented Hal's conflicted feelings. And I was like, gee, thanks for spelling it out for us. There you go.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Wouldn't have
referring
figured
to.
that out considering the
Well,
situation.
I think, again, as Paul said, it was sort of a cross between a novel and a comic book, so
Yeah.
there was some
Yeah.
novel stuff in there.
Yeah.
They were trying to tell you the symbolism, of the
Yeah.
Dark Knight.
I thought it was interesting, even though it was like spelled.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of like Gar falling from Pride Rock or something like that.
I guess to some
Simple but
ways.
effective symbolism, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do we have a... So we didn't really like any of the characters, I gather.
You know, I'll be honest with you. Even if Rust is supposed to be extremely unlikable, she served. She served
Yeah.
for so much. Wait, I'm gonna share. Can I share my screen?
She may have girl bossed
If
too
you
close to
can't.
the sun, but she girl bossed.
I can share my screen.
Yeah.
Like this outfit, like oh my god, girl, who are you wearing? You look like that. I can't believe she served so hard. Crazy. In 1949. Unreal. Anyway, that's all I wanted to share about that. Other than that, the characters are like, except the little newsboys. The newsboys were so cute.
Yeah, they rallied around and passed it out to the paper to everybody.
That part just reminded me of Newsies for like 2 seconds. I'm just like, oh dear.
Oh yeah.
This predates Newsies.
Yeah, I know.
In general, I also thought the art was good.
I do like the art. It's very like pulpy, but in a good way, in like a nostalgic way, you know.
I did think it was interesting that the header on the book is Noir of Matt Baker, and he is the artist. He didn't write this, but they are sort of pushing his artwork.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says volume 1, so I assume there's more from him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if there's another. This is probably
I think the story itself is a one-off, but he did other.
yeah. So this is
yeah,
probably
right.
the Noir of Matt Baker, volume 2, 3, and 4. But yeah, those was just.
But yeah, the art's pretty solid. I think any aspiring comic artist would do well to study this art, like especially for like the line quality, the black placement.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good. I was afraid it was going to be the sort of yellow that's on the back. So, like, I couldn't. So I was like, oh, it's going to be like yellow, but it's not.
And it was all yellow.
So it was,
So, do you have anything you want to say? Besides, you brought up some good points.
I think that was it.
Okay.
I didn't have anything else to say.
Anybody else have anything else they want to say?
I recommend reading it if you can get your hands on it. It's a
Alright.
good experience.
Even though you didn't like any of it. Okay, good.
A strong
good,
word,
like-
but I still think it's worth reading.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good read, especially if like you want to especially like read into stories. I guess to go back to your roots in terms of like graphic novels and comics and stuff, like how it all began.
Yeah.
So it's like it's
Yeah.
a good experience as well.
Okay, cool. I'm glad you guys liked it, or as much as you did. So now,
I like the reactions it gave me. It's like, come on, Hal, please.
I know, spineless, do something. You know?
Yeah.
So I guess it's now time to pick the next one, and it's
Yeah, right.
Paul's
So, yeah, it's my turn. So I had a couple options. My immediate thought after this was something I read a while ago, which was Made to Skate.
Ooh, oh my god. Wait just a minute. First we have made with guns. Then we have made with skateboards.
Paul, I appreciate you.
The other, if we wanted other options, were the first volume of the Adventure Zone,
Ooh.
which is a graphic novel adaptation of a D&D actual play podcast. And there's also the first volume of the comic adaptation of Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Ooh.
I have read the first
Those
book of Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Those all sound like good options, but maybe it has just captivated me. I must know
So
the
Made to
contents
Skate.
herein.
I'm cool with
Damn.
whatever.
Right. So
That's my
Made-
choice.
all right. So Made
I'm
to
okay
Skate.
with
Locking it.
All right, so the next one will be Made to Skate.
Either Maids or Dungeons and Dragons. Either way, it's a win-win.
Yeah, let's go with Made to Skate.
Hell yeah.
I don't know. The last time I suggested something, it was grommets, which was skater themed. However, there's even more skateboarding in Made to Skate.
I'm sensing a theme. I'm sensing a theme here.
And the Dungeons and Dragons, they skate on that too. No. All right.
Well, then the third volume of the Adventure Zone, there's a race with cars.
Okay. Quite the same.
When did they make a comic for that? I wasn't sure if it was still around, that whole series.
Well, for the Adventure Zone, the first.
I listened to the
book
first couple
was-
episodes, but then I just dropped it.
Right. Well, the first edition for the first volume was 2018.
Ah, okay.
That long ago. Wow.
Yeah.
A dog's age.
All right. So, Made to Skate.
All right.
Yay.
All right, so if you're watching this on YouTube later and you like this, leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and leave a comment below if you happen to read Rhymes with Lust and have any thoughts of your own.
Right. Okay. So until next time, I'm David Hankins.
I'm Paul Hankins. Trevor Hankins.
I'm Julie Cannon.
And I'm Rachel Wells.
And you've been on the air with Power Squared.